class. It's a class that we have every week, and this week we are studying how to find the right content for a business. Okay, so guys, it's okay to say something. All right. So how to find the right content for a business? A lot of times when you're a writer, the easily available job is content creation. Then you're approached by these businesses like Mena, for instance, knew nothing about pharmacy, and then she just ended up creating content for a pharmacy, right? Yeah. And so she had to think of, you have to think of things that, I mean, these are things that it's not a business you've ever been in, but then you have to think of a way to create content that the audience for that business would appreciate without without losing the audience, even though you're not in that business yourself. So let's get started. If you have a question, just let me know. First things first is this. What's going on with my keyboard? I can't swipe. It's okay. So first things first is this. Can you see this? Put yourself in the consumer's shoes. Can everyone see this?
There's nothing. I can't hear anything.
Okay, let me switch it. Okay, you should be able to see this now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes. Okay.
awesome.
Yes.
So self in the consumer's shoes, and this had to be the first one, and this is the one I most of the time. I'm always saying, think about the audience, research the audience, study the audience. Our last class was on how to know the right audience, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so basically, the very
Yeah.
first thing you have to do before you begin anything else is to put yourself in the consumer's shoes. When you are able to think like the consumer, then you can write for the consumer. Now, imagine Hollins. Hollins is a dude, right? He's an out and out dude, and then a fashion company hires him to write content for them. What's content? What's Hollins going to do to be able to derive content for this that will be suitable for this company? You have to think like the girl who wears, I'm sorry, what shoes are girls wearing now? Are we still on platforms or have we moved on to something else?
Ladies, here you go.
What are we wearing now?
Well, I think now girls are wearing more stilettos.
Okay, so stilettos. So they're having a stiletto sale, right? And Hollins has to come up with content for the stiletto sale. Something that would really appeal to the audience and bring them in. So what is he going to do? He's going to need to think a lot like somebody who wears stilettos and think about what would appeal to
Like a
them.
woman. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, of course, like a woman. So you need to think like the consumer to be able to write for the consumer. That's the very first thing. If you don't know what it's like to be that person, if you can't put you in the person's shoes, you're just going to be writing for yourself. It's like writing a copy for, let's see, writing a copy for young people. Okay, yes. Imagine you had to write for a company that sells shisha, right? And then you start to use formal English, and you go, this is a this is a device that would take you up to the heavens and bring you back. I don't know. I can't imagine. But, but imagine using serious language for people who just want to smoke. Okay,
They
it's
won't even
not.
take you serious.
It's exactly nobody is going to listen to you. Nobody's going to listen to you. So you need to put yourself in the consumer's shoes. First things first. And then when you have done that, what is wrong with my computer? Okay. When you have done that, no, that's not the next. Right. The next thing is to snoop on the competition. And like you can see here, I don't mean that you should actually spy on them and stalk them, I mean that you should just check out what other people are saying for whatever industry you're writing for. You need to check out what other people are saying about the product you're selling, unless it's a product that has never been made before. But the thing about that is that if it's a product that has never been made, if it's like an electronic product or a tech product and it's new, check how other tech products are being sold, check how other electronic products are being sold, and then adapt that to the product or service that you're selling. So yes, you need to check out what other people are saying. I mean, if you're going to sell Pepsi, then you should know how Coke is selling as well, and the reason why you should check on the competition, it's not to copy them, okay? It's to know what the normal is, what the audience likes. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
More like what's in vogue, right?
Sorry.
Said more like what's in vogue, right?
Yes, to find out what appeals to them, what other people have been saying, and then you can then take that and improve on it. But if you don't check out the competition, you might be starting from the back when somebody has already. I mean, you may be starting from square one when somebody or has already gotten to five. But if you check out the competition, you can go from five and just start moving ahead. Do you understand?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so now we all know the power of Google. There's really nothing you can't find on Google, and it's because of copywriters like us actually, or else there won't be anything online. It's content writers that put content online, and then you can find it via Google. So yes, research is really important. If you just go to Google and type content ideas for pharmacy, content ideas for real estate. You remember when we did the challenge that you had to sell a bunch of stuff with content? You saw that you could just type content ideas for a hospital and you would find something that would give you an understanding of what should be done, the direction you should be going. It would also help you understand the audience a lot more. Okay, so um, being a good content writer doesn't mean that you have to do it all by yourself. You can get help. You can research and find what you need. That's why the internet is there. That's why libraries are there. If everyone knew everything, libraries wouldn't. If everyone was supposed to know everything, libraries would not exist. Because you wouldn't need to find anything that other people have already said. So research is a very important part of content writing, any kind of writing at that. Are we following?
Yes.
yeah,
Okay. So next we have
Yeah.
an
Yes.
idea
Yes. I
file.
am.
I can't preach this enough. Your idea file really doesn't have to be anything complicated. For me, it's a bunch of things. I have a folder on my laptop called the swipe file, right? It's where I save interesting things that I find well when I'm working on my laptop. I mean, when I'm researching and I'm on my laptop, when I find something interesting, I just copy it and paste it there in that folder, right? But when I'm on my phone and I am looking through things and I get ideas, I just type it in an app, Evernote, right? So that's still an idea file. I just type it in there. And if it's something I find on Instagram and it gives me content ideas for a client or for myself, I just take a screenshot. So a lot of times, in order to um, find ideas for a particular industry, I just need to go through my screenshots or go through my Instagram saved posts. You can save posts on Instagram, right?
Yes.
Facebook as well, but it's hard to find your posts when you save them. Instagram is much easier. So when I'm going through Instagram and I see content that I can repurpose that makes sense to me and I feel like I can work with this and create something, I just save. So your idea file doesn't have to be one serious folder. It can be in a lot of places as long as you have it. So that when you start writing, all you need to do is check those files anyway, and find things that can help you understand a little more or help give you some ideas to work from as you're working. Okay. Another thing is really to just step back and think about what you're doing. Think about what you are working on. Think about the audience. Think about the product itself. If you're
Excuse
selling
me,
something,
hello.
can you hear me? Can I?
Yeah, I can hear you. But please, on the last point you just raised on get ideas or so, could you just give a quick summary from the beginning of what you said? Because network actually had some interruptions throughout.
Okay,
Please.
I see.
Yes, thank you.
So I was saying that on my laptop, I have a folder where I save files that interest me. You know, you can save a web page, and it saves to your laptop as a file, like a folder. Let me show you.
Okay.
Let me show you. You share. Where's my browser? Okay, I'm sharing my browser now, and here's let's see one of my saved pages. Let's see, 6 email templates to encourage checking with your clients. Okay, so you can see this, right? So on your browser, you have this,
Yes.
and you can just go. Okay, you can just right click on the web page and save as, the same way you would save a picture, right? Click on save as
Mm.
and choose a folder. Where's my swipe file? Okay, yeah, you can see my swipe file, right? Choose a folder and just save it there. And then you can go to that file. Where's Need to share my desktop. I have no idea where my desktop is. Okay, so uh, going to desktop now. Okay, so then you can go to that swipe file, right? Open the. Here's my document. Okay, still downloading. Oh wow. Okay, so once
Yeah.
the document has downloaded, it will be saved onto the folder where you've saved it, and then from whenever you start working on that particular idea, right? You can just go to that folder, click it, and it would open that web page that you have
Okay.
saved,
Okay.
with or without internet, actually. Okay, so that's how a swipe file works. You can a swipe file can be just about anything. I also use the Evernote app on my laptop. It's ever and then note Evernote. The Evernote app on my phone and on my iPad. So if you're working on your phone and you're reading something and you get ideas, you just go straight to the app and type what you've thought of. And if it's too much to type, you can always just take a screenshot. So my screenshot folder in my phone, really, aside from screenshots of clothes I'll never make and shoes I'll never buy, I also have a lot of screenshots of content ideas. So when I am running out of ideas to work on, I can just go through my screenshots folder and I'll find a lot of stuff. And I also said that you can go to you can save on Instagram. You can save a post on Instagram and go back to it later to read. So there's a lot of ways that you can save your ideas. But if you want to have it in one file, you can do that on your laptop with the save web page feature, or you can take a screenshot, or just do your whichever one is suitable at the time. So I use a lot of them. I use all of them at once because ideas don't wait for you to go and get your laptop. Okay, so okay, yes. And next thing I said was that you should think about the message you want to pass with the ad. I mean, with the content. What are you trying to say? Do you want people to make a purchase? Do you want them to support a cause? Is everyone listening?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
do you
listening.
Yeah,
yeah, think about what
I'm
you want
listening.
people to do. What is it? What the action you want them to take? Do you want them to prefer this? Do you want them to download this? So when you think about the message that you actually want to pass, then you can start to organize your thoughts in a way that will pass that message. But you really need to stop, pick up your notepad and think about what you want to say rather than just, say everything that the competition is saying or say everything that Google tells you should be saying. Take the information you have, think about what you want to say, and use it to pass that message. Okay, and then you can put it all together and create awesome content. I mean, just get it all together, the content, ideas, what everything, all of it. And okay, looks like our meeting is supposed to be ending soon because of the and Mena, the time limit you set on this seems to be very short. Anyway, so just put all those things together and it will be easy for you to create content really. But you don't if you start thinking about the I mean, just sit down and start thinking about the content first and just say, oh God, so what am I going to do? You're going to feel overwhelmed, especially if it's an industry you've never worked in. I mean, imagine writing content for a zoo, right? Or a shop that, I mean, there's a popular um business in the United States now, and I have a client in that industry, although we've not started working on content, and that is the cannabis selling industry. So she calls herself a weedpreneur, right? So imagine having to write content for
Interesting.
a weed dispensary. They actually have an official name now, a weed dispensary. So you really have to do all of this in order to get content that works. You understand?
Yeah.
For someone like you who doesn't smoke weed, how
Yes, sir.
well do you think you're going to do that?
Like I said,
Magic, sir.
just if you go through these steps, right? The steps um that we have worked on, you first put yourself in the shoes of a person who smokes weed or takes weed, because there are pills for it now as well. It's not just smoking now, apparently. It's so much easier
Okay.
to take weed now. So think like somebody, watch their movies, follow them online, check them out online. Just go to Instagram and type hashtag weed life. You are going to find a lot of people who would tell you what they are like. So put yourself in their shoes, check out what the competition is doing, and seriously, if you follow these steps, it's going to be easy for you to write about anything. Check out what the competition is saying, research on it, content ideas for weed business, for cannabis dispensaries. There's a proper name for it. It's not even weed business anymore, cannabis dispensaries, right? And put together an idea file, think about what you're trying to get them to do, and then you'll be surprised at the kind of content you can create.
Thank you.
Don't worry, I'll send these files to the group so you can always check on it later. But honestly, you go through these steps, you can write about
Thank
anything.
you.
Are there any questions from you guys?
Yeah, it was.
Sorry? Any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Okay, I'm listening.
So, in a situation where you have like um two different contents to create, because I usually experience that kind of difficulty where I mix up ideas
Okay.
with both content, because sometimes I might have like close to the same deadlines and I have to finish before time.
Okay.
And then I have two different things to write about, but I'm caught in the middle of searching for this and trying to conclude with this and all. So I really need tips on how to work that out.
Please don't write about two things at the same time. If it's the same deadline, still take one at a time. If you try to write two different types of content at the same time, you're going to make mistakes that will not be great. You understand? So you need to take them one after the other. If it's 1 hour, you have to write both. Use 30 minutes to write each, or else you're going to spend more time and the results will not be so great. So always take them one after the other, so you can focus your research on one. And sometimes when I'm writing for two things at once, it can feel overwhelming at the same when you're doing that. What I do is do the research first. Do the research, keep the save the pages I like and all of that. Then start with one, start writing it. Finish with that one, read the next one, and read the research I have on the next one and start writing that one as well.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Hello?
I have a question.
Okay.
It's how about if you
Hello.
are searching for content online and you can't really find ideas about that content, because there are sometimes you might want to check some things on the internet and you're not really getting what you want.
Okay.
Um,
It actually happens. My first thought was to say there's no such thing. It's not possible, but it is, because I just remembered writing my project. And when you're writing about something that people have not talked about a lot, or they have not talked about it from the point of view you're talking about it, it can be a little crazy, a little difficult to find ideas. So what I would advise that you do is to first think before if you check out and you can't find anything through your research, first think about what you're trying to say. Write down your ideas, what your personal opinion is, right? Break it down into parts, and then those parts that you have those parts that you have broken it down into, see if you just try and Google those. What I do, right? I break a topic into subtopics before I write it. Okay. So you might not find that topic, the main subject, online, but you may find things on the subtopics. In fact, it's most likely that you'll find things on those subtopics, the parts of that. So if you're writing about can I give an example real quick? Okay, so my project was on children literature, right? And my project was on mistakes that Nigerian writers make with children literature that makes it, unacceptable as children literature. And nobody had talked about that. All they had done was praise the crappy literature that a lot of people have been writing. So what I did was write out my personal opinion first, then break that into subtitles. How am I going to complete this? What's the complete thing I want to say? So, part of it was that the illustration is bad. Another part was that the language is too serious for kids. So what I did then was to take those points one by one and research on those small, small points. And then I was able to find some information.
okay. Thank
This
you
is, this
very
is
much.
not my question, but I
You're
actually
welcome.
learned something.
You're welcome, Emily. When you start writing, you're in the English department, and when they tell you to talk about how Shakespeare influenced our traditional religion, you're going to have to figure it out. Okay. So, is there any other question? We have less than 2 minutes to go on the timer.
Yeah, I wanted to ask.
Mhm.
First of all, thank you. I was helped. I wanted to know if this applies for other kinds of writing, such as story writing, poems, and the likes.
No, no. Literature is purely creative, and I suggest you only write what you know. Only write your opinion. And if there's something, if there are things that you need to research on literature, is things like about the location you're using. Maybe you don't know enough about it. Maybe you're writing a story set in the tropical rainforest and you've never been there. Then you can research that to find out more about it. But stories, poems, plays, they have to be purely creative. Mostly, I mean, 95% creative, imaginative, your own imagination. Okay, they're going to kick us out of this meeting in a while. Mena, I don't know what you did, but they're chasing us away. Okay, any other question?
No, none from me.
No questions so far, maybe later. But thanks for the presentation.
Okay, thank you
And
guys
thank you
for
for
being
the
here.
class. It was
Thank you very much. It was it's a pleasure to teach as usual. Okay, guys, so
Thank you very much.
have fun. And Valerie, you'll be texting me with the article topics I asked for.
Okay.
All right then. So I'll be expecting them.
All right.
All right. Bye, guys.